Wake up. Something has happened.
Halo Wars 2 lies somewhere in between an RTS game for Halo fans and a Halo game for RTS fans. It adapts Halo's FPS roots well, taking the series' best missions and reformatting them in ways that make sense for a strategy game without sacrificing accessibility. But ultimately, this is a very light RTS experience geared towards Halo veterans, not a robust strategy game, and it runs out of steam quickly. Halo Wars 2 takes place nearly 3 decades after Halo Wars 1 and chronologically after Halo 5. The crew of the Spirit of Fire emerges from cryosleep and is now taking on a rogue brute faction called the Banished rather than the Covenant. The story is important to the setup of each battle and interesting enough as a Halo fan, but you could mostly tune it out and you wouldn't miss too much. There are, however, some really gorgeous cutscenes that make following along worthwhile, and they drew me back into the Halo universe.
The grav lift. What do we do?
You hold on.
Wait, what? Wait, a minute!
Halo Wars 2's campaign is at its best when it borrows from its FPS source material. A Warthog sequence in the first mission feels like a bird's-eye version of the Warthog runs in Combat Evolved in 3, and the mission structure is comfortably familiar. Slower missions with snipers are bookended by chaotic horde battles in what feels like a typical Halo campaign played from a different perspective, rather than an RTS in its own right.
We're approaching the LZ for the grav lift now. Wait, we got hostiles. Hold on, we're going down.
The multiplayer also takes tried-and-true Halo FPS modes and adapts them for an entire army. Domination games, which involve capturing and holding a location, like the Territories mode in 2, 3, and Reach, are an arms race requiring a lot of resource management. Although some games can run on the longer side, a lot of matches aren't too time-intensive, which is good if you're more used to dropping in for a few brief rounds in an FPS. Both the multiplayer and the campaign feature quicker, more explosive clashes over drawn-out struggles for supremacy, and they pair well with Halo Wars 2's more simple RTS elements. But Halo Wars 2 can often feel too stripped down to be truly strategic. On the one hand, it's accessible, but the campaign is only challenging in the final few missions. Once I'd figured out which kind of units to build, which is really the main strategy element at the core of every battle, I could basically send all my troops to one location for an attack. It was often easier and more effective to just double-tap the right bumper to select all of my units rather than try to separate them by unit type and form a truly organized offense. The few times that was necessary, I felt like I really earned my victories, but it's overall too limited to be truly satisfying.
Blitz is for champions. Are you worthy of the title?
In multiplayer, the only important decision to make is which of several leader powers to pick. Otherwise, the UNSC and Banished factions offer pretty similar tactical opportunities. Matches are generally hectic enough to be fun, but the streamlined FPS-inspired nature of battle is only entertaining for so long. Once you've ironed out a general plan of attack and gotten resource management mastered, there's not much left to discover or adapt to. Blitz mode is interesting, if not a huge draw, putting an RTS spin on Halo's deck-building card game. Of course, without a solid RTS foundation for the game at large, that doesn't mean much for Blitz, and like the rest of Halo Wars 2, it doesn't have legs.
Isabel, launch Archer missiles now!
That's not gonna hold them back, sir!
As a longtime Halo fan, Halo Wars 2 has just enough to pull me in, but not enough to keep me coming back. It's palatable for those used to the FPS, taking inspiration from favorite missions and putting a strategic spin on them. But just when things become more challenging and actually interesting, it runs out of steam.
Unidentified vessel. Isabel. What do we do, Isabel?